Whether they admit it or not, every college student wants to be the most successful college student in the room. And we wonder, how is it that she's getting straight A's, she's working full-time, she's taking a full-time class load, and she seems to be handling it all with ease alongside college classes? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 skills that successful college students have mastered to achieve everything it is that they have achieved, including myself. My name is Clarissa. I am the CEO and founder of She Rocks at College, an academic life coaching company where I help college women earn better grades and have study-free weekends. And I took myself from failing out of a bio major, being told to my face by my academic advisor that I wasn't smart enough, to graduating with honors while I was working 2 jobs, starting my academic life coaching company, being in a relationship, and basically just kicking ass. I figured it out. And there was a point in time where I did not believe that it was going to be possible for me. And so if you are sitting in that position right now where you are wondering whether or not you should quit, wondering whether or not you belong in the lecture hall, wondering whether or not college is for you, I'm going to walk you through the 5 things that if you learn these skills, if you learn how to master them, you're going to be able to have your best semester yet. And it's only going to get better from there. So I want to go in and dive right in to the very first skill. Now, initially when I was planning to do this live stream, I thought I was going to go in a particular order, and now I'm realizing that I want to go in a different order. So the first skill that I want to talk about is that successful college students understand their mind, they understand their patterns, and they understand themselves, okay? So here's what I mean by that. Every single one of us is born with a human brain. Our brain is a tool, and tools are meant to be used. And we either learn how to use our brain from the people around us. So we basically just mimic the way our parents think, the way our teachers think, the way the people closest to us think. And then there are people who understand that the brain is a tool, and they take the time to actually learn how to use that tool. This is the difference between having a piano in your home that you just put pictures on and actually using the piano to play music. It was meant to play music. Your brain was meant to serve you. The students who I work with, who quote unquote make it, right? The ones that don't quit, the ones that actually graduate, the ones that are achieving the straight A's and they have like the perfect way to balance their time, and they seem like they're not struggling at all. They understand how the brain works in regards to how it learns, and they use it to their advantage. They understand that we are not born with a certain level of intelligence and that a smart gene doesn't actually exist. They understand that in order to be someone who can take really great notes, they have to learn that skill. They understand that to be someone who can pass every single exam and make it look easy, they have to learn the skill of test taking, of how to actually retain information, understand information, and apply it. These students also have a lot of self-awareness. What I mean by that is that they truly are constantly evaluating themselves. They're looking at who they are as people, what makes them tick, what it is that they value, where they tend to make decisions that aren't in alignment with their goals. They know themselves so well. And because they know themselves so well, they build into their lives places where they routinely self-evaluate and self-assess. They have mastered themselves and they have mastered their brain. the ins and outs of their brain. They have mastered the motivational triad of the brain. They understand that a lot of the times they're not going to have motivation and they have to create it, and they know how to do that. They understand what their self-protective mechanisms are. You might have heard this as self-sabotage, but we don't actually sabotage ourselves. We don't sit down in the morning and write all the ways that we're going to ruin our lives. Things like procrastination, things like waiting until the last minute to start on something, things like pulling back at the end of the semester because we're afraid to put in our full effort in case it doesn't work out. All of these things that we do and that we call self-sabotage is actually our brain just protecting us from pain. The students who are successful understand what their patterns are, and they're so aware of them that they catch themselves in it, so they're able to make decisions that take them closer to where it is that they want to be. They're not living their life from their past. And they know that the brain was designed to learn. They know that if they want to be the student who earns really great grades and who's able to balance it all, that they're going to have to teach their brain how to do that, because it doesn't come hardwired. You're not built with it. You're given the tool, you're given the brain, and it is your job to learn how to use it. It is your job to practice using it to your advantage. The second skill that successful college students have mastered is that they set realistic expectations for themselves. They don't live in a fantasy. They don't set these enormous goals that they know that they're not going to be able to achieve with the circumstances that they're working with. They understand that most of the time, people are comparing themselves to the exceptions and not the rule. Because the fact of the matter is, there's only 1% of the population that has a photogenic memory. There's only 1% of the population that is a genius. I'm just going to use that for lack of a better word. They understand that most students, it takes them 2 to 3 hours to read the textbook. They understand that most students will probably fail a class or two in their college experience, or an exam or two, or a quiz or two. They understand that the success that they want requires work, effort, and time. And they don't sit there and compare themselves to this imaginary student, this fantasy student who lives in a bubble where their lives are perfect, nothing ever happens, they're never interrupted, they never get sick, they never need to eat, pee, poop, they never have a bad day. They know that that is a fantasy. They know that that doesn't actually exist. And so they go into their college experience understanding what's real. And they create goals from a realistic place. Now, this doesn't mean that they don't dream. It doesn't mean that they don't have high standards. It doesn't mean that they don't choose who they're going to be every single day, and that version of themselves is the best version that they can think of. They just don't live in a fantasy. They don't compare themselves to an ideal that they'll never be able to achieve, because they understand that it doesn't exist, and that to do so is only going to set them up for disappointment and an actual failure. Skill number 3 that successful college students have mastered is called emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is your ability to be able to identify what you're feeling and feel it. The students who I have seen do the best, the students who I've seen make it and not quit, not change their major 1,000 times because they don't feel like they're smart enough, but the ones that actually persist, no matter how many times they've failed a test or failed a class, they just keep going. These students have mastered emotional intelligence. What I mean by that is they do not make decisions from a place of trying to avoid feeling a negative emotion. Because you see, what the thing that I see between students who make it and students who don't is that the students who don't, they're constantly trying to figure out how to study. They're trying to figure out the perfect way to manage their time. They're trying to figure out the exact amount of time that they should spend reading a textbook. They're trying to figure out exactly the words that they should write down to make sure that they pass the test. They obsess over perfect because they think that being perfect will help them avoid emotions like shame, disappointment, failure, embarrassment, confusion, overwhelm, stress, insert whatever other emotion feels sucky to feel. Successful college students understand that life is 50-50. That 50% of the time, you're going to feel emotions that feel so delicious that you cannot get enough. And 50% of the time, it's going to suck balls. They know that even when they're a straight A student, they're going to have bad days. They're going to get into a fight with their mom. Their boyfriend might break up with them or pick a fight with them. They wake up late for an exam and now they're rushing. A family member dies. They're unmotivated, uninspired. They're on their period. They understand that it's not better over there than it is here. They understand that the moment that they prayed to get into the college of their dreams, the program of their dreams, that with that excitement and that degree, they were also going to experience days where it was fucking hard, where they were stressed, where they didn't feel like studying, where they thought they knew what they were doing for an exam and the grade was a lot lower than what they were expecting. But they do not make decisions from that space. They don't make decisions trying to avoid those emotions because they know and understand they're gonna come anyway. My life could be perfect and I will still have shitty emotions and shitty feelings. My life could be perfect and I'm gonna have days where I might experience something that is sad. My life could be perfect and I will probably experience disappointment. My life could be perfect and I will still have moments where I'm embarrassed. They know that the success comes with those emotions anyway. So instead of trying to create their life in a way where they avoid those emotions, they learn how to feel those emotions, process those emotions, and take action anyway. They don't make the emotion mean anything about them or anything about what they're capable of or anything about their future. They just understand it's an emotion, and emotions are meant to be felt. So I'm going to feel it. And when I feel it, I'm going to give myself a day, because it probably will only last a day. And then when I'm clear, when I've processed the emotion, when I felt my feelings, when I've given myself the time and space to just emote for a second, I'm going to take action. I'm going to decide. I'm going to see what the next step is. I'm going to try to come up with a solution. The reason why you think the perfect study routine, the perfect planner, the perfect schedule is going to help you to become the student it is that you want to be is not because you think that the planner or the study plan is the answer. It's because you're trying to avoid failure. You're trying to avoid feeling a negative emotion. And so you think that if you can control your schedule, and you think that if you can control your study plan, and you think if you can control the classes you take, and if you think you can control the college that you go to, and if you think you can control anything and everything, then that means that you won't have to experience failure and shame and embarrassment and disappointment and frustration and anger. But what I want you to know is that you're going to feel those things anyway at some point. It just comes as part of the package of achieving your goal. So instead of avoiding it, which looks like procrastination, it looks like you taking a withdrawal from the class, it looks like you changing majors and degree programs, it looks like you not putting in full effort. It looks like you making excuses. Which I call protecting yourself from feeling negative emotions. It looks like you're not taking personal responsibility. It looks like you explaining why you couldn't have what it is that you wanted because the circumstances didn't allow it. And every time you make decisions from that place, you deny yourself the path to your success because those emotions are bushes along those paths, along that path. There's no way to avoid it. And successful students understand that. And so where they spend their energy is not in trying to avoid those emotions. They spend their time and energy mastering the skills to not let those emotions stop them from becoming everything it is that they desire. Instead, they learn how to feel it. They learn how to neutralize it. They understand that this is just what the brain does. This takes us back to skill number 1. They really understand the brain and how it works and what it does and what it's motivated by. And they use that to their advantage. They don't make their emotions mean anything other than they just need to be felt. It's okay that I'm sad. It's okay that I'm disappointed. Of course I am. This goal is really important to me. And I missed it by like 10%. And I'm going to feel the disappointment. But it doesn't mean that I have to stop. It doesn't mean I have to quit. It doesn't mean that I have to change my path. It just means I need to feel the disappointment. And once I felt it, what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? What's the story I want to tell about this moment in time? That is the way that successful students think. That's what differentiates them from the students who, quote unquote, don't make it through. Skill number 4 that successful students have mastered is they have an amicable relationship with failure. They have made friends with failure. Successful students don't make failure mean things it does not mean. failure or our perception of failure is not actually failure. It's just feedback. It's just information. It's just a result. It's just an outcome. If you set out at the beginning of the semester to earn straight A's and instead you got C's, it doesn't mean that you failed at your goal. It just means that whatever you did to study, to prepare, to show up as a student this semester were not things that got you A's. They were things that got you C's. Failure is just there for us to check in. Not meeting a goal, not hitting a certain grade, not being able to pass a class doesn't mean you failed at life. It just means that whatever you did this semester, whatever you did this time didn't work. It's just feedback. Successful students are masters at self-evaluating. They ask themselves, what worked? What didn't work? And based off of that, what do I want to do different so that I can continue to improve exam after exam, semester after semester, year after year? They understand that the work that they put in today is going to compound over time. That just because it didn't happen now, it doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. It just means it didn't happen now. So maybe I need more time to practice. Maybe there is a skill that I need to learn that's going to help me the next time I take this class or for the next exam. Failure to them is feedback and they welcome it. They're not afraid of it. They're not in conflict with it. They have an amicable relationship with failure. And in fact, they expect it. They know it's coming at some point. They don't get fazed by the fact that the moment that they decided to enroll in college, the actual day-to-day looks different than what they imagined. They don't tell themselves, I only want this degree as long as I don't ever fail a class. I don't ever get a grade lower than I expected. I only want this degree. They don't tell themselves, I only want this degree as long as I'm never put into a class where I feel like I don't know what's going on or I have to work really hard. They don't tell themselves, I only want this degree as long as it doesn't take me more than an hour to read the textbook. They don't tell themselves, I only want this degree as long as I never have to experience any disappointment, shame, etc. No, the story and the narrative that they're telling themselves is, I want this degree no matter what. And I understand that it's not going to go perfect. I understand that it's probably not going to look like what I think it's going to look like in my head. I want this degree even if it means it takes me an extra year than I thought. I want this degree even if it means that I'm going to have to put myself in situations I've never been in before. I want this degree even if there's going to be moments where I feel really dumb. I want this degree even if there's going to be moments where I ask a question where I feel embarrassed that I even have it. I want this degree even if it means that I'm going to be in uncomfortable conversations with my professor. I want this degree because I want it no matter what. I'm willing to not just get the degree, but I welcome everything that it means to have that degree on the path there. Because let me tell you, anytime that you set a goal, there will be a dip. It's subtle at first. I call it the self-doubt creep. And then that dip is going to get even deeper and it's going to feel like hell. It's unavoidable. It comes with the territory, because here's the thing. Most of the times when we set a goal, we're setting goals for things that we've never done before, which means you're not going to know how to do it. Because if you knew how to do it, it means that you've already set that goal before and you hit it. And again, most of the times we don't set goals that we've already hit before. We're always wanting growth and evolution and to get better. It's just human nature. It's actually one of our basic human needs is to continue. Because if you look at nature, if you're not growing, you're dead. You're dying. You're either growing or you're dying. That's it. That's all there is. So to be a human means that you're constantly going to grow and evolve, which means you're always going to be setting goals that you've never done before. And if you've never done it before, it means you're going to have to learn new things. And anytime you learn new things, there is a learning curve. You're going to suck at the beginning. It's a given. Just expect it. Nothing has gone wrong. Successful students understand this because, again, if we go back to the other skills that successful college students have mastered, they understand their brain. They understand that whenever they set a new goal, their brain is going to fight them on it. They understand that they're probably going to suck at it. And because of that, they have realistic expectations. I'm probably going to have to learn some new things here because I've never done this before. And because it's new, I'm probably going to suck at it at the beginning, which means I'm going to need to practice, which means I'm going to have to get better. To get better indicates that at some point you sucked. Because to get better means you got to get better. They feel their emotions as all of this is happening. Because they are going to feel discouraged and disappointed, but they don't make it mean anything. They're just like, okay, I'm disappointed and I'm discouraged. I'm going to feel that because this is real. I am disappointed and I am discouraged. But it's just an emotion. It's just a feeling. I can feel it and I can make decisions that are in alignment with where it is that I want to go. They have that amicable relationship with failure. They understand that it's part of the journey. And it's just feedback. It literally is just telling you whatever you just did, baby girl, did not work. We got to pivot. We got to really take a look at why it didn't work. And then we got to choose something else and we got to try that. And guess what? That might not work too. And if that doesn't work, what else are we going to do? They just keep moving because they understand the compound effect. You only fail when you quit, because the moment that you quit, you've denied yourself the opportunity to work towards what it is that you desire. So when people say you're either learning or growing, that's it. Because you either learn what didn't work and learn what did work and you're applying it, which means you're going to grow, or you're quitting. And if you quit, it means you're not working towards any of those things. The fifth skill that successful college students have mastered is belief. None of this matters. None of the other skills matter if you do not have belief in these three things. For those of you who've heard people throw around the term before, you gotta believe, or you gotta believe. Belief is, when people talk about that, they mean their mindset. And all mindset is a collection of your thoughts. Now, if you're wondering, where do those thoughts come from? Well, they come from societal conditioning. So the things that we heard growing up, the things that we were told, and they also come from our life experiences. So we have thoughts about ourselves, i.e. beliefs about ourselves. We have thoughts about colleges and universities, and we have thoughts about study routines and time management. College students who quote unquote make it, their thoughts are very different than the college students who quote unquote don't make it. College students have developed belief in themselves. What I mean by that is the thoughts that they give a lot of airtime to, meaning they spend a lot of time thinking about, are thoughts like, I'm capable of doing well in this program. I'm capable of learning what I need to learn to do well in this class. My success is inevitable. I belong here. I deserve to be here. I can learn new things. I'm smart enough. I'm worthy enough. The thoughts that they have about themselves are thoughts that are going to support actions that actually get them the result it is that they want. Because when you have thoughts about yourself, like I'm capable, I'm smart enough, you're going to generate emotions like motivation, inspired, committed, willing, ready, determined. And from a determined place, from a willful place, from a motivated place, from an inspired place, from a committed place, you're going to keep going. You're going to do the things that a successful student would do. Students who, quote unquote, aren't successful, they spend a lot of time in thoughts like, this probably isn't going to work for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not smart enough to be here. This probably won't work anyway. Even if I put in the time and effort, I'm still not going to get the grade it is that I want. Maybe I should quit. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. And if your primary time and energy is spent on those thoughts, that's going to create emotions like discouragement, shame, stress, embarrassment, disappointment, frustration. And when you're frustrated, when you're disappointed, when you're ashamed of yourself, when you're demotivated, when you're uninspired, you don't do things that successful students would do. And that's the difference. Successful students believe in themselves. And all that means is that they have thoughts that support who it is that they want to be. You cannot be a successful student. You cannot be a successful student if your primary thought is, I'm not a good student. Because a good student does not think that about themselves. The second place that successful students have mastered belief is that they believe in their program. They have thoughts that the school that they're in, that the resources that they have, that the professors that they have are everything that they need. They do not have a lack mindset towards the degree program that they're in. Meaning they don't have thoughts like, no one's helping me. There aren't any resources available. There isn't this and there isn't that. And the reason why I'm not succeeding is because the professor isn't giving me this and the school isn't helping me with that. And then there aren't any scholarships and there isn't any financial aid and they don't offer this and they don't offer that. The mindset of successful students is, What is available to me? How can I make the most use out of the professor? How can I make the most use out of office hours? Let me see what services the campus offers. Let me see if there is anything out here that I haven't made use of or that I don't know about because I'm struggling with this particular thing. They are entirely and fully resourceful. Resourceful, the way I like to break it down, is that they are full of resource. Resourceful. They don't lack anything. They honestly and truly believe I have everything that I need. And even when I don't physically have everything that I need, I have everything that I need to find what I need. They don't blame their program. They don't blame their professors. They don't blame the lack of resources that are at the school. They believe that they're exactly where they're supposed to be and that they have everything that they need. And I want you to think about how you would show up as a student if you believe that. I don't lack anything to succeed. I actually have everything that I need. How is that true? How would you show up if those were the thoughts that you spent time on? That you deliberately thought every single day? The third belief area that successful college students have mastered is that they believe in their study process. Again, what I mean by that is that they have thoughts like, this is the best study routine that I could try right now. I'm making the most use out of my time every single week. I have all the time that I need. They believe that whatever they have decided to do to study is the best thing that they could have chosen for themselves. They don't sit in doubt and in lack. They're not constantly questioning. They're decisive about it, and they like the decisions that they're making. They think to themselves, this is what I'm going to do. This is why I'm going to do it. This is why this is the best way for me to study for this particular class. And because they have the other skill of having an amicable relationship with failure, if they do that and commit to it and they don't get the grade it is that they want on their exam, they don't make it mean anything besides, I guess, that there must be something different that I need to try. And then they make the change and they decide this is the best study plan and the best way to manage my time in this moment with what I know. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to commit to it. And if it works, they keep doing it and they trust it. And if it doesn't work, they don't make it mean anything. They just evaluate what worked, what didn't, what am I going to keep, what am I going to get rid of, why is this the best decision that I could make for myself with the information that I currently have. As they gain more information, as they have more insights, as they get feedback from either exam grades or however the week went in regards to their time, they're making very strategic changes. Dariani and Red Lip Marketing, as well as Sheila, thank you all for being here. Successful college students believe in themselves. They have thoughts that they're capable of achieving success and that their success is inevitable. They believe in the program that they've chosen for themselves. They have everything they need. They believe that they have everything that they need, and that the study routine and the way that they're managing their time right now is the best that they can do with the resources and the information that they currently have. They do not waste time. Thinking about things that aren't helpful. They don't spend time thinking about what they don't have. They don't spend time thinking about woe is me, and why can't I have this, and why does it have to be this way? Because they know that those thoughts are just distractions from them actually focusing on their future. So, to recap every single one of the 5 skills that I mentioned today. Skill number 1, they understand the way that their mind and their brain works. They understand their patterns, and they understand themselves. Skill number 2, they set realistic expectations. They understand that the exception is not the rule, and they set goals accordingly. Number 3, they've mastered emotional intelligence. They don't make decisions from an emotional place, and they don't make emotions mean things that they don't mean. They feel them, and they take action even when they're feeling them. They have an amicable relationship with failure. They don't make failure mean things it does not mean. They understand that it comes with the territory. It comes with the path to success. They embrace it, they welcome it, because they understand it's just telling me what's working and what's not, and what I need to change. And I'm going to change it, because the more I change it, the more I keep going, the more time is going to compound, the more my skills are going to compound, which means the better I get, and the better I get, the better my life is, and the better my life is, the better it gets. The better it gets, the better it gets. But it doesn't get better if you're constantly quitting, because the moment that you quit, you're no longer working towards getting better. You're stagnant. Skill number 5 is they've mastered belief in themselves, belief in their program, and belief in their study routine and their time management plan. They don't waste time thinking thoughts that do not align with who it is that they desire to be. They don't live in a lack mindset. They truly believe that they have everything that they need, and they make the most of it. They don't waste any time on their past. They don't waste any time thinking about what they don't have. They stay focused on where they want to go. And the only thoughts that they have are, how am I going to get there? What's the next thing that I need to do to get there? This is inevitable for me, so what is next? Of course this is for me, so what do I got to do? How do I stay focused there? This is what you need to learn how to master if you want to be a successful student. And what I want to do now is I want to announce the fact that if you were watching this video and you felt encouraged and you felt like, damn, that's who I want to be. Those are things that I want to learn. Those are things that I want to master. I know that I'm meant for more. I know that I have so much potential and that I'm somehow holding myself back from fully stepping into it. Every year around this time, I host something that's called the Your Best Semester Yet 5-day challenge. It's a free challenge that I run twice a year at the beginning of the fall semester and at the beginning of the spring semester. It's happening December 27th through December 31st. And you can sign up for it right now. We are creating brand new videos. We're doing brand new live streams for this round of the challenge. We're giving away $2,000 worth of giveaways and prizes that I cannot wait to reveal what those things are. I'm going to be doing it slowly, giving you little hints along the way, getting you excited to participate in the challenge. This is going to be the semester that you claim everything that you came to college for. This will be the semester that you become everything that you thought that you would be when you enrolled in college classes, when you got that acceptance letter. I want you to be as inspired and as convinced that your success is inevitable as the day that you enrolled in college and got accepted. That level of belief that you had, that level of determination, that level of motivation, that level of let's effing go energy, I'm going to teach you how to create that for yourself consistently all semester long. I'm going to teach you how to not get demotivated and discouraged, and how to move through disappointment in a way where you end the semester stronger than when you started. I'm going to teach you how to navigate failures and unexpected grades and unexpected life challenges. I'm going to teach you how to set goals. I'm going to teach you how to create a path to actually make that goal inevitable, make it possible that it's going to happen for you. I'm going to teach you how to study. I'm going to teach you how to think about time in a way that you've never thought about time management before. I'm going to teach you how to simplify being a good student, because it's not complicated. It requires work, but you don't have to do all the 5,000 things that you think that you have to do. Because again, you're going to understand how to not compare yourself or build your life based off of the exception. I want you to create a life that feels real, that isn't a fantasy. Because nobody's life is positive 100% of the time. Successful women in the world understand that their life is built brick by brick, and that it takes time to master the skills to have everything it is that they desire and they want, and to become everything it is that they know that they were called to be in this life. So they welcome the ups and the downs, because they know the downs make the ups so much sweeter. I want to build a community of college women who no longer have the narrative, oh, college is so stressful and I don't have time and I don't have a life. I don't want the narrative of miserable college women and college students to continue anymore, because it doesn't have to be that way. You can have a different experience. You can enjoy the process even when it sucks. You get to be happy through it all. That is what the Your Best Semester Yet Challenge is about. It is free to register. Enrollment is happening right now. The link to get yourself signed up is in the description box of this video. You can also go to sherocksatcollege.com/your best semester yet. It is the best 5 days of the semester. It is the best gift that you can give to yourself, because you're going to learn how to study. You're going to learn how to manage your time. You're going to learn how to be the good student. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. I'm Clarissa, the CEO and founder of She Rocks at College, an academic life coaching company. And I'm available for any questions that you have. I'm active on Instagram. You can find me at sherocksatcollege.com. And I cannot wait to see you in next week's video. Bye.